Hey guys, welcome to the last set in the Lego Street. This is not a Lego set. This is the Fun Hole PKA Lumibricks record store. It is a certain number of pieces. I thought it would say 1980 pieces, a lot less than the standard buildings around. Usually these are like close to 3,000 pieces on the Lego side. So this one is just under 2,000, and it is a record store. Funhole does. They also do the built-in light kits, so this is going to have wiring involved, so I think I'm going to try to show you guys how that works. And this building, specifically the record store, also has functionality, I would say is a good way to say it. So the whole thing is built on the premise that it can open up. So I'm not sure how that's going to work with a Mills plate. We may have to build a modified Mills plate. We shall see how that looks. So, but I am under the impression that this does sit on a 32 by 32 space. So let's get to unboxing. Now, I did open this set a long time ago when I first got it. So it's been opened, and what I did at that time, service card, here are the instructions, high quality, just as good as a Lego instruction, I would say. It's got pictures of what's good, what's new, all that sort of stuff, so I'll let you know if those are easy enough to follow. The other major thing that it includes is the light kit. So this in here, we open it up. It's in a bit of disarray because I opened it a while ago, but it comes with tweezers, a battery, and then several baggies with lights in them. Wired up lights, powered by USB. And this little piece that has all the little connectors in it, and then a screwdriver to put batteries in there. We're just gonna jump into it and see what's good, and then we'll see how this goes. My first non-Lego Lego set. All right, based on these instructions, here you can see where this part of the base plate separates. We have a 10 by 28 segment here that opens up to allow us access to the rest of the thing. But it is 32 by 32. This is 32 by 32. So in theory, okay, here I've basically, this is the 10 by 28 cutout, including the line, and then including this line, all of these studs don't exist. There is a gap of that space there, a 10 by 4 space here that would be non-existent. So if we build it on this Mills plate, the opening function, that's what I did to show that. The opening function here would not work, and the set would lose an incredible amount of its functionality, playability, action ability. I do have an extra base plate, and I am willing to modify it. Create a Mills plate that would essentially not have that 4x10. I would take a knife and cut out studs and then slice off this portion as well to have two distinct sections that we could then Mills plate separately and then build the set on top of those pieces so as to have the remaining functionality. And I think that that is what I am going to do. Because I'm building this whole city on the Mills plate system, shout out Trader Joe's lemonade, it's pretty good. I think that this is something that I am willing to do in this instance, is sacrifice some Lego pieces for the good of this project. So the next cut in the video will let you guys know what I decided to do. All right, guys, I did it. This is a modified Mills plate specifically for the Fun Hole record store. I took a pair of scissors and cut out the 4x10 and the 28x10 sections, and then I Mills plated those. This is quite awkward because I didn't have a bunch of 10x6 plates. I just kind of had to jerry rig it here. So it works, and it will work for the set. So we can start building now, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not too bad. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, I just finished the minifigures. They put them all in a bag labeled F that also comes with all the wiring pieces. So these are the special channel pieces, bricks, plates, clips, all sorts of things that you feed the wires throughout the set. They give all those to you at the beginning. And then, yeah, so here are all the minifigures. They are not as good as Lego, first and foremost, but I like the printing, I like the characters, they look interesting enough, but, you know, they're not Lego minifigures, so that's something to think about. Also, the instructions say, put it all together like this. And you have to put all the hands and all the arms in. Well, as somebody who only has one hand to do that, it was very difficult. And you may notice that there are left hands and right hands, and left arms and right arms. So if you accidentally put the wrong arm in, they might break when you try to pull them out. I broke 2 arms. Luckily, they give you 4 arms, 2 of each side, so I got lucky there. But yeah, there's also, you can also get the hands wrong. So my fingers already hurt. I haven't even started the build, and the minifigures don't even look that good anyway. But I'm not really in it for the minifigures, so I thought I'd build them and show them off, and then we can actually get to the build. So the build's right over here, and we're gonna get started. All right, because I'm building on a Mills plate, there are like, I just have to know the orientation of where it's going. So I read a couple pages ahead, and then I'm backing up, and it's a little complicated. But regardless, something I'm noticing that I really, really like about these instructions is check out the pieces there. They tell you exactly what it is. Now, not every time is that gonna be necessary, but when you're doing a lot of tiles, like a 6x6, that could be a 2x2 or a 4x4 or whatever, or like a 2x6, and then the 1x6, right? And it's like, oh, that's really nice actually, that it shows you exactly what the size of that piece is. I think that's pretty cool. Here is the 32x32 minus 4x10 base plate we've built up here to the step where it comes apart. So let me show you how that works. So here is a standard curved hinge plate here that holds the 2 pieces together, and then here a clip goes into a faucet piece. Kind of an interesting choice on that one, but this clip disengages and you can turn the whole thing open. So it pulls out like this, and you can curl it all the way 90 degrees, and then I'm assuming this Technic pin axle will go into a Technic hole or something similar to that. So you have this 90-degree angle that you can open it up, and it's still on its Mills plate. Woohoo! So I just opened bag 2, and in some smaller plastic bags was this piece, which is 3 pieces all printed together. So one thing that Funhole does is they do all of, or Lumibricks I should say, they do all of their prints. They do all prints, and they do tons of prints. So they don't come out with as many sets, and they don't bother with stickers at all. So they just do, everything is already printed. And if there's a large print that covers multiple pieces, then it gets shipped to you like this, in a bag, separated, already put together. I didn't even put those pieces together. It just came like that out of the bag, as well as these large window panes as well. So pretty cool. Here's a, check this out, what's this? Here's an interesting piece. There was another cool, unique mold there, but this is pretty sweet. And they're even doing printing on the glass. They do have a couple unique colors. This is like a light gray. They have medium gray, they have dark gray, and they have light gray. This is not white, despite what it looks like on the camera there, but it is light gray, lighter gray. I don't know. I'll see if maybe this is their white. I don't know. But most of their colors are pretty well matched, I would say. So like here is a dark gray piece next to the Lego's dark gray. I'd say that pretty much looks identical. So yeah, just wanted to show off the pad printing. They don't do the UV printing, or I don't know the difference. These are the 3D scratchy ones, not the same prints as Lego that are smooth on top. This is like a straight up, you can see the texture on it. It's got that scratchy. Yeah, so there you go. What's up guys, just wanted to show you what one of those large tiled pieces looks like here, and that's baggy before I opened it up. So the pieces are all together tucked into a bag, and it looks like this is going to be the final bag of the first floor, and we will even get some wiring done. So look forward to that. I'll try to update you guys as the wiring goes. You can see in here the channel bricks where the wires are going to go, and it's just kind of all around. We'll see how it goes. All right, I think I've done all the wiring for the first floor. So I've got wires going into this piece back here, and then they go into this block, into this channel, they pop out right there and power these 2 lights. Then another light source wire. Wait, what? Oh yeah, no. There's another wire that comes out here and goes this way, goes in there, crosses this beam, lights that light right there. Then it continues on, ripples through here, lights this little light there, pops out, is going to light these 2 wires. Then it comes in, lights this one as well. Then channels through this brick, pops out. That piece is the contact strip that will power the next floor. And then there's also this LED at the end of that wire. So I think that's all the wiring for the first floor. And I'm almost done with the first floor. We'll check it out, see if it works. Okay, just doing a power test, and here we go. So we have these 2 lights working, this one light working, this one light working, and these 4 lights all working. It is working. All right, guys, we've finished the first floor of the record store, and it's looking good. So here is the powered up, all the lights in it. So you have a light here, 2 lights on either side of this beam, the lights above the sign, and there are 2 lights here and here that light up those little rooms, and then there is a small light here as well, lighting up this sign. This one's not as amazing because half of this tile is obviously connected to this panel, so it kind of doesn't allow a lot of light to shine through, so you kind of get this half lit piece, but that's okay. And then here is the current segmented 90-degree angle. You get a nice look in here. There's some boxes with some storage. There's a little bit of cat food in there. You get a good look at these. You can pull this out and switch them out. You say, hey, you pull out this little mini build. That's super easy. You pull out this mini build of all the records, and you say, oh, I want to put this one in there, or switch these 6 around, or grab one of these or something. You can totally interchange those, and we'll get more when we fill in this space as well. The rest of the record store is going to actually go in here, and I'll show that in a second. And then, yeah, so this is where the power bank is. So it's kind of got this funky look to it. Just a big black box on the side of the build. Does a little bit of a good job hiding the wires, which I think in the rest of the build are pretty well hidden, aside from these here. But no one's gonna really be seeing that very often. And then they built this little pavement, let's see here. Tilt it up to you guys. Yeah, so you can see this little graffiti, and there's a bucket with some paint rollers and some spray cans. There's a nice little ATM. There's a ladder on the back for latting up. And there's this nice little sign here about the show. Some more records and stuff here. I added in the street lamp because this piece over here doesn't have any electricity going through it or any lamp in it, but it has some street signs here for the music club and the bus stop, and then a little radio music sign there. And yeah, and then I'll show you guys what the final bit of the floor looks like. Actually now 100% completely finished. The record store's first floor. So they had you build a little piece here, so I just grabbed my tiny 4x10 base plate chunk, and let me pull it out. So here it is. It has the axle in it now, but it's just this little record player on the back of the thing, and then it lets you, once that's out, you can now extend it the 90-degree, open it up, and here is the record store proper, with the cash register there. Lots of detail in here, hard to see. Not a problem. You just pull out the whole floor right there. You got all this detail stashed in here, all these records and junk, and then this nice store rack with a bunch of records on it. You can customize those around, kind of just place them however you want. Pretty cool. So I'll see you guys on the next floor, if not sooner. Alrighty guys, just finished up the second floor of the record store here. We got the little corner attachment separated so we can do the 90-degree opening here, but we've got a nice balcony out the front, and we've got a little fire escape working its way up the stairs there. And this is where the recording studio is. So we come up the stairs there, no railing or anything. Classic Lego adjacent deals there with a zero safety on the stairs, but that's okay. This side has a hand railing, so it's all good. Got some nice stained glass here on these fancy window panes, a little fridge with some soda cans, some nice classy records, some old timers perhaps there, and then we've got the studio here. So we got the little guy with the computer and the coffee mug, and then on the inside we've got some cool. We got an amp, and we got a guitar, and we got the mix, and we got the recording, and we've got a little we've got the keyboard here with the microphone and some object. I'm not sure what that is. And we do have light connectivity here. So let me turn on the lights. Okay, so this floor only has 2 lights. It has this one here shedding some light on that, and then this yellow, perhaps that's a recording light of some sort. So you can get a nice, you can see that it's definitely illuminating from the inside. Let me turn on the lights here. Get a good view of that. It's still pretty bright outside, but you get the idea. It's pretty bright. The lights do a good job illuminating the space, so it's pretty sweet. And there is also a little closet back here with a pizza box and a bottle and a trash can and stuff, so some under the stairs storage there. And then we can open up, whoops, we can open this up at 90 degrees and get an even better look. And this sits on rails, so you can pull out the recording studio, get a better hand on those objects, or a better view of the stuff behind the stairs, move some stuff around if you wanted to. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. And then if we want to separate the 2 floors, I'm going to turn off the lights. Actually, I'll leave them on so you can see the moment that it disconnects. So something I've heard a lot about this is that the contact plate, this is the piece here, similar on this floor just underneath, is sort of, you have to act as if it's a hinge. So with it being over here, you'd want to open the floor this way to make sure that this piece, which has like high clutch power compared to the other pieces, so make sure that it comes off as well. So when I take this apart right now, I'm going to pull from this side. You can see here this does have a little bit of a lip, so maybe they even understand that in the design process. So as you pull it off, it unlocks that side, and then we can kind of pick it up from there. And you can see the contact plate is there still. In videos like Jang's video on this, it multiple times he attempts it, it pops right out and doesn't really work as effectively as it should. So that's definitely something that they should continue to work on. I'm not a huge fan of the hinge on the second floor here, just because it's causing me some difficulty in putting the floor back on. This piece just popped right out while I was trying to set it in here in place. But as you get it into the correct spot, once it finally is sitting on the right spot, manhandle this a little bit. Sorry. There we go. Once you push it in, then you can see it will immediately turn on those lights again. So the contact plate has that electricity flowing through. 0 delay on that. It's pretty nice. It's a really great idea, and I think without the hinges, I think it would work flawlessly. And you can, the wire is fed through, I forgot to record the clip with the wire in there, with the wiring in there. So the contact plate comes up behind this piece here. You can see right there, yeah. So you can see where this little axle pops out. The wire comes out from under there and goes in under this tile, thanks to some curved tiles. And then it pops out on the other side of this. So, like here. Oh, you can't see. Just there, at the top of the screen. Pops out right here. And then, oh no, well, yeah, it does pop out there and goes behind this tan plate over to the yellow light here. And then goes back in the wall around This is really tough. Sorry, I apologize. It comes out to this contact plate, and then they make you go back in the same hole and all the way around, and you can see it right there briefly. And that leads to the end of the wire at this light here. So it's going around and through, and the contact point is again right here. So that's the second floor. Moving on to the third, and then the roof as well has lights. So there's gonna be, I have this contact plate and one light, and then one final plate with a couple extra lights on it. So we'll see how that goes. Hey guys, just wanted to show off bag number 8 here is 4 bags. This is something that's been happening a lot with the fun hole set. I've got a lot of bags. Multiple of the steps, like bag 8 is 4 bags. Bag 5 is 4 bags. And here is an excellent opportunity to suggest that we reduce the amount of plastic waste in our sets. Here is a bag with 1 piece in it. Okay? This bag has 1 piece. It could go in this bag, or it could go in this bag. All 3 of these bags could be 1 bag inside this bag. And all in 1 bag. Most people organize their pieces when they pull them out anyway, so this is just kind of silly. Alright guys, we just finished up the 3rd floor. We have 1 bag left that's going to cover this roof and this roof. But yeah, so let's check it out. So on the outside, we've added a Spin Records recording studio sign. We've got a little air conditioning, another set of windows, this nice little detail there. We've got this door to this roof that doesn't exist yet, and we've got the Hip Hop Don't Stop print there. Lots of prints. This is sort of a lounge room above the studio. We've got a nice couch with a sody pop and another couch and some records and the record player. We've got the VCR. This is a light in there behind the glass that's printed. Pretty cool. VHS. There's the VHS sticking out, which doesn't make sense since the video is playing, but it's fine. We've got a fridge. We got the VCR. We've got somebody's building a fun hole camper set. We've got some other stuff going, maybe a microwave down there in the corner. Very, very cool. And the continuation of the ladder up to the roof. And yeah, so the wiring on this one, again, starts underneath here. Those are the contact plates in gray. And then it kind of comes up and goes in, down and up, down and into this box. And then back up, you can see it behind the white printed tile there. And it channels to here, to this contact plate, which will house the final set of lights there, which has 4 more lights on it. And this part does not touch the segmented 90-degree turn there. So this part is actually fully separated, or not separated, it's fully contained within the larger half of the Mills plate. And then you can see this little pull tab to release the floor so you can actually separate it here. But I've been having some issues with it, so I'm going to try to attempt to show you how this is working. So the pull tab here pulls this wall off, which is connected by only a couple studs there. Where it's supposed to do is the entire floor, which just doesn't really quite work. Maybe I need to, maybe it's just not perfect. I need to re-tamp that down. But yeah, so it lets you, you get a nice view here with this wood, with the floor off. You can really see this whole, into the studio, and then this side of the room. You get a good look at this, pose a figure or two, what have you. I think I'm gonna try to, just smush all that down, try to make it flat, because there's some issues with grinding in the rails there, so. But yeah, we'll put it back together, and we have just one last bag, number 11, and that'll put us at this step. All right, guys, we have finished the Funhole Lumibricks record store. Here it is in all its glory. We finished up the roofs here. We've got a nice live show sign with some lights there, showing off the sign in the nighttime. A little chimney, just some tiles kind of covering that up, and then this little balcony from the lounge area. That also includes a light in there as well that shines up that whole space in that room. Pretty bright, pretty cool. And this little lamp there. So let's show off in the darkness. There you go, guys. It's a light. So you can see clearly inside the rooms, which is quite cool. This one has a lot of stained glass, so the windows are kind of changing the color of the space inside, but you can see in there, and then the first floor as well. And then of course we have that little extra piece that goes back there. So now we can open this up 90 degrees. Split it open. All the lights still work. And you can see inside the rooms, the staircase, the studio, the record store. And then on this floor, you have the room inside, which I think, now that I'm looking at this, it might just be intentional that this just pops right off and then you pull it out with the slide anyway. So there's the lounge and stuff in there. So yeah, let's talk about it and place it in the city. Alrighty, guys, here it is, right front and center in the city here, across the street from the theater, in all its glory, placed in the city. The last pre-made set that I have. So I'll have the food trucks here and the serve and squeeze there, and those are things that I will have to start working on slowly but surely. They're gonna take some extra time because I gotta gather all the pieces and stuff. First thing you'll probably do to this is switch out the dark gray and the light gray here to make this more standardized with the dark gray 2x2s and then the light gray curb, so that it is assimilated a little bit more evenly. And but otherwise, I think it fits pretty well in. It is almost as tall as the Palace Cinema. It is a little bit taller than the police station, so I do believe it is the second tallest building, which puts both of the tallest buildings right in the front as you walk in. But if you're 6 foot like me, then you can still kind of see everything anyway. And both of these buildings in the front, this being a parking garage, this being probably 2 stories, is going to most likely allow for a good frontal view of the city from this side. So I think that that's going to be pretty stellar once we're done. So overall thoughts on the record store itself. I think as a non-Lego build, I think it was pretty good. I think brands, third parties, brands that are not Lego, are more willing to take risks, more willing to think outside the box, try something new, in an effort to bring people to their business, right? So here is the building itself is, aesthetically pleasing. It's interesting. It has solid techniques, not a lot of stellar part usage that you see out of all of these buildings, where you're getting these absolutely crazy, unique ideas all over the place. But it's still, like, I wouldn't say that this even really stands out as a non-Lego set until you start to look at all, like, the prints. And, you know, all the minifigures have, well, yeah, I'm not even going to bother with the minifigures, but, like, all the prints of people have these goofy little curved out faces on their chins are all super wide. That sort of thing. Obviously, the lights and the battery pack is an extra dimension that this set is bringing to the table. The big thing being the quality of access. So not only can you separate it floor by floor, but if you unplug the 4x10 corner in the back, then you also can open it 90 degrees, pull out each room individually, slide them out, and place minifigures really well and easy. And I think that that is a huge idea. I think that's something that Lego should try sometime, because, and I think that they do a good job of putting this basically a key in the back that prevents it from doing that at the same time. I think the only thing that is kind of still feels like lower quality is some of the prints are like this big print on the front here. This is one of the UV prints, right? So it's got that, you can see it, the texture, it's got that scratchy look to it. It comes off of the piece a little bit extra. It's not as good, right? But interestingly, some of the prints, like I think these ones are standard clean print. Maybe not those, but there are, like this one here, the Spin Records, this front one is like your standard clean print right on there. Or like this one, the vinyl tapes, that is a standard print. Or this 1x2 cassette is a standard print, but then they'll have the pad printing or the UV printing on other pieces that feel 3D and not so great. So I think that that's a pretty interesting inconsistency that they have there. The wiring kit is fairly well done. I haven't ever done any other ones, so I can't say, but like, you can't see any of the wires when you're just walking around. There's this one on the top that is fairly visible across, but even just that much of a change in the angle and you can't see it anymore. These wires, I would say, are the worst offenders in my opinion. And something I thought of right at the end while I was doing this last floor was there was a little bit of extra wire between the, here, let me see if I can flip this. There was a little bit of extra wire between the contact plate and this black 2x2 rounded plate. And so I crimped it myself. You can see the curve, it kind of loosened itself up anyway. But I like twisted it with the pliers that they give you, which giving everybody pliers and a screwdriver and a piece separator, brick separator, all in every set is really, really nice. I hope they continue to do that. They have custom molds, these weird little 4x4s with the cutout in the middle, have these funky little curvelets. I think they're designed for wiring, so you can have all these different ports for the wires to come out. All the special pieces for the wiring, the contact plates, the channel bricks, the little corner channels, these 2x1 plates with the groove in them, they all sort of work pretty well for the most part. I think they've just done a really good job of making a set. And like, you come in here and there, again, like I said, there's not a lot of super high ingenuity going on. I think this TV is a fair example of something good. This little video player has a ball and joint piece going in, and then a 2x1 printed tile going through one of these little panel pieces, and that creates a little bit of a cassette look to that, which I liked. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just like, overall, I think they did a pretty solid job. I think this set will fit right in the city. I don't think it meshes too poorly with the rest of the vibe. And I think it'll look good next to the theater and the food trucks there. The hamburger is over there hiding. I built it, recorded that video. But yeah, so I think in the future we are almost done here as far as the total percentage of what we've got to go left. I would say we have like 80% of the way done. And then we'll be done. And I can finally throw all that away. It's getting quite large. But yeah, overall, solid build. This episode's going to be a lot longer than the other ones, probably because of the extra attention to detail we're taking to this set, scrutinizing and whatnot. So, but yeah, so thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you soon when we start to look at these little bits here. Very exciting.